All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. Friday, June 10th, 2022. Got big show today. Going to talk UFC 275 previews, like a preview and prediction show. Also, go through today's slate of baseball games and the NBA game tonight. If you were watching yesterday, we had a great day yesterday. We were 6-2 overall, and our best bets was 4-0. So our baseball picks this week have been best bets have been 10-2 on the week. So if you're watching, you've had a chance to win some money. We got a special guest today, Rayleigh Barrett Valdez, also known as Pride. If you haven't watched him, you need to go check out pridefultakes.com. He has a great podcast over there going on. What's going on, Pride?
Oh, stop. I am special, all right. I am special. You ask me what 1 + 1 is, I say 3. So I'm definitely special. Chris, I love being here. I love being able to talk to you. Because every time I try to talk UFC with someone, one of two things happens. Either A, I low-key expose them for for not really knowing anything, or B, I end up being the smartest guy, which is if I'm ever the smartest guy in the room, that's a problem. So for me to be able to be in the presence of a veteran to learn more, that's what I'm here for. So I appreciate you having me, Chris.
Oh, you're always welcome to come on my shows. Hey, what do you think about this card? I think it's going to be a pretty good card, especially the last two or three fights on the card.
Honestly, I'll be honest. I think every single forget potential. Because usually when people say potential, that's kind of like their way to cop out. Especially the last three. Those are all going to be bangers. No disrespect to Valentina Shevchenko, but Santos, she don't give Valentina problems. Now, in terms of predictions, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's gonna be straight bangers. You could have literally put two midgets as the opener, and then a crippled guy and a dead guy as the second fight, and this card would still be a banger. Right? Like, that's how high-powered the final three fights are. So I think a lot of, this card has the potential to mess up a couple divisions. Like, this thing is going to destroy has the potential to destroy some divisions. So, but I think it's a hell of a card. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm just. There were some concerns that Glover probably wasn't going to make it. There were some concerns that Zhang Weili wasn't going to make it. Like, there were all these concerns. So to be able to see it to fruition, to see them all kind of weigh in and everything was on the up and up, it's perfect. You know what I mean? So yeah, this card's a banger, bro, 100%. Yo, Chris, you good? Looks like your boy taking over. This is now prideful takes, ladies and gentlemen. Look, this card's gonna be a bang. Now, like I said, I'm gonna wait for Gonzo to come back so that way he can join me with the predictions and whatnot. Look, if you are not a UFC fan, this is the card I highly recommend that you look at. If you how everyone has the conversations about who's the greatest of all time and all this stuff, you have the opportunity to see one of the all-time great females in Valentina Shevchenko. You have the opportunity to see her, and there's another woman who used to be in that conversation before she kind of hit a little bit of soap but has every potential of coming back. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I'm telling y'all, if y'all have never seen UFC before a day in your life, this is going to be a very entertaining card. Obviously, you got the main event, Yuri Prochazka. I wonder how he's going to wear his hair. But Yuri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira. Basically, an old guy versus a young guy. Who's going to win? God knows, because anything can happen in the UFC. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be coming. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Singapore they said it's going to be coming. It's going to start at Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's when
I don't
the
know
main
what
card
the hell
starts.
just happened, dude.
It's fine, bro. I took over. This is my show now, Chris. You can leave. This is my show.
All of a sudden, it said I had they couldn't detect no cable connection. I'm like, hey, I paid my fucking bill. What the fuck's going on?
You're like, everything's up to snuff. Fuck out of here. But now, I was just telling the people, bro, that if they've never seen the UFC before, this is probably the card they should honestly look at, because you're gonna see one of the two of the all-time greats in terms of the female division, in Valentina Shevchenko and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. This card right here, this card is basically one you need to watch. I implore everyone, if you have never ever seen a card before, or if you've been curious about the UFC or anything like that, this is the card, because you're going to have three bangers back to back to back. This is not going to be Carla Esparza versus Rose Namajunas. I promise you.
Oh, no.
And if it is, you can kill me and I'll take it on the chin. But I'm telling you, this is the card you want to look at, because it's going to be a very entertaining card.
And not only do you have two of the best women, then you get to see a veteran like Teixeira,
Mm-hmm.
even in his 40s has been on top of his game as a champion.
100%. Yeah, and I said the same thing. Glover Teixeira, it's really an old guy versus a young guy, but you really can't count Glover Teixeira out. That's one thing I won't do. This reminds me a lot of Michael Bisping, right? Where all of a sudden, your last opportunity, you make the best of it. Now, it's the difference because with Michael Bisping, it kind of was a short notice fight, et cetera, et cetera. But I will say it's kind of the same, because they're both guys towards the end of their career. They won the big one. It's going to be because, again, Yuri Prochazka is a problem. This is only his third UFC fight. Yeah. But this kid is a savage. He is a legitimate, no debate at all savage. And it's going to be very interesting to watch not only how he handles it, because this is going to be his first championship fight. I'm going to be curious how he handles it, but also on the flip side, Glover Teixeira. If you know this guy's a savage, what's Glover Teixeira going to do? Is he going to try to work more ground game? Is he going to try to stand and bang with him to prove a point? That's something that also, people aren't really talking about. So, that in the beginning, I think the first 30 seconds there's going to be hardly anything done. And then all of a sudden, one of them is going to be like, okay, I got a feel for him. I know what he's going to do. And I think it's going to be Yuri who starts initiating it first before anything. And one thing about Glover Teixeira, he is at his best when he is rocked. I've never seen a guy get rocked like Glover Teixeira, and when he's rocked, somehow have more composure than when he's untouched. That's something about Glover Teixeira no one really talks about. It's insane, and it's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be a good fight. I do. I think Teixeira is going to have to take that fight to the ground some, and that's a weird fight because I can see either guy winning by a knockout as well. So I mean, especially in the early rounds. But I think the longer the fight goes, it favors Teixeira because of the inexperience of Prochaska.
Oh, you know, well. I'll be honest. I don't think it favors anybody the longer it goes. I don't think it favors anybody. And the only reason why I say that is because Glover Teixeira getting older, his cardio isn't the same anymore. So when he starts getting into that, he's gonna slow down. But again, same thing with your like we haven't really seen him go those deep rounds. Again, this is gonna be the first time in the UFC that he's gonna fight 5 rounds, like a 5-round fight. This is gonna be the first time. So if it goes into like the later 3rd round, early 4th round, are we gonna see Yuri Prochazka kind of start getting tired? Or on the flip side, are we gonna see him panic and then him reach for a knockout only to get clipped by Glover Teixeira?
Yeah,
like it's a thing where, to be honest, both guys want this thing to end midway of round 2. In a perfect world, that's where they were ended, because they still got something in the tank. They can still throw out some good solid shots. They still have enough energy that, if Glover Teixeira goes for a takedown, Prochazka can stuff it or whatever. But
if it gets past the 3rd round, it's going to come down to who has the better cardio, I believe. And like you said, with Teixeira getting older, you don't know if his cardio is at that same level. And Prochazka, we haven't seen him in a championship fight, so we don't know what his body is like after the 3rd round. So
exactly.
I think if it goes past the 3rd round, it's going to be an interesting fight.
It will, because Yuri believes in terms of his cardio that he's fine. Now, I do want to take his word for it, but you know who else said he got good cardio? Conor McGregor. And, I don't want to say he's got the worst cardio, but there's a reason why he favors knockouts, because he can get out of there quick, right? Oh, yeah. So, but we'll see. And for all we know, it might not need it, because like I said, I think the round 2 is going to be a slugfest. I believe round 2 is going to be a slugfest, because after round 1, there's going to be, like I said, about 30, 45 seconds of them kind of pawing each other out, figuring some stuff out. And then, like I said, I think Yuri Prochazka is going to open up first. Round 2 is going to come out, and Glover Teixeira is probably going to be like, all right, I think I'm losing this round. I got to do something. So he's going to be the aggressor. And then Yuri's going to be like, hold on, this is kind of uncomfortable for me. Why is he the aggressor? Then he's going to start aggressing. And then next thing you know, there's going to be a sloppy exchange that,
yeah,
whoever first one to land the first blow kind of wins at that point.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What do you think about this first fight that we have? Jocelyn Edward and Yoel Ramon.
I don't want to be mean, but I think this one's is just a, let's just have something, let's get it out the way, and move on type of situation. I'm not even trying to, you know what I mean? I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but I don't see anything, between these guys. I don't really see anything. I'm more interested in the other welterweight one, Fahalo versus Matthews. I think he's the Aussie, but
yeah,
excuse me, that one I'm more interested. But this one, I think it'll be okay. Unfortunately, I do believe it'll be the worst on the card, but not because I think for me, if you put this fight on any other card, people would probably care more. But I think it's just the fact that, like, you got 3 bangers, and like I said, Matthews versus Fahalo, that, in my opinion, could be a legitimate contender for fight of the night.
And not just that, you have 2 of the top women ever fighting on that card. So other women's fights aren't going to get the same attention because you already got the two big ones.
100%. So,
but Edwards is a minus 184 favorite. Pascal is a plus 142 underdog. But I like Pascal to win this fight. Actually, I like the underdog. She's a decent striker, has decent power, and she's a good counter puncher. And this Edwards will sometimes with her high volume gets a little reckless. So I can see
my
Pascal
biggest knock on
big
her.
win.
My biggest knock on her is I don't think she gets. I think she gets reckless. I think she
Which
gets
one?
reckless and huh?
Who you talking about? Pascal?
Edwards.
No, Everett. Yeah, see, that's my knock too. And I think Pascal's gonna be able to land some counter punches because of her recklessness.
Exactly, and that's kind of why I don't. That's why I'm with you. I think Pascal wins because I just think Edwards, she's gonna open herself up to just too many. She's gonna go in blitzing, and Pascal's just gonna like patiently wait. She's gonna let her do her first blitz attack to get the timing down. Let her do it again, and then the third time she's gonna hit her with a swift right. She's gonna hit her with a swift right, and it's gonna put her lights out.
Yeah, I think Edwards' path to victory is a quick knockout. Other than that, I see Pascal just being able to counter punch.
Right. I'm with you. I'm definitely with you.
And then you have Ling Na against these are the prelim fights. Ling Na
Yep.
against Gomez Juarez.
Oh, all right. Yep.
Juarez is a minus 146 favorite, and Na's a plus 114 underdog. This here's like a fight of two different styles. You got Gomez with his great boxing, but Nas a great grappler. He has 12 submissions. So if he can get this fight on the ground, Gomez could be in trouble. But on their feet, I think Gomez striking is just going to be too much for him.
Definitely, and it's going to come down to like a lot of Lane's submissions are of the armbar variety.
Yeah,
It's almost as if she reminds me a lot like when she fights, kind of a little bit like Ronda Rousey, where when you go to the ground, you're not going to get a choke, right? You're not going to get a Dars or a north south, or you're not going to get a guillotine, nothing like that. You're not going to get a knee bar. You're not going to get anything like that. You're not even going to get a Kimura. You're going to get an arm bar. Like, as soon as you get to the ground, there's one submission that she wants. So what I think is gonna happen, I think she's gonna try to keep shooting for that takedown, and she's gonna try to do that. And what said about Gomez, she's a great boxer, but she can't stop takedowns. So it's not like she's one of those boxers that like if you shoot for the takedown, she doesn't know what to do, and she's kind of like, oh great, we go down, here we go. She's not like that at all.
Yeah, no, she has decent grappling.
Right, yeah, and she's got very respectable defense, or takedown defense,
Yep.
She's got very respectable takedown defense. So
well, the thing about Na, it's not that she shoots in. She likes trying to just pull guard. She gets a lot of her takedowns from scramble positions.
Exactly.
Like, doing double.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like with a fighter like Gomez, you're not gonna be in those scrambles that often. You're really not going to be in those scrambles because Gomez was going to want to keep the fight on her feet. You know what I mean? So it's like Na's going to have to work some takedowns, but again, you're now working takedowns against someone who, is able to make you work for it. It's going to be a very awkward situation for Na. And I mean, maybe, she can go and, maybe she'll be able to, get that one takedown or, somehow get into a scramble or something. But honestly, man, I'm going to have to go with the favorite again because I just don't. It's very bizarre. And you pointed it out perfectly. It's very bizarre for you to love submissions, but not work the takedown. It's very bizarre for someone to have double-digit submissions, yet not really care for takedowns.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if it's because she doesn't care for them or she can't do them. I don't know what it is with Na, but like you said, a lot of the positions she gets is purely off of scrambles and they're kind of panicking and she kind of just, snakes her way in because listen, during the scramble, she's ridiculously fluid. Yeah. During the scramble, Na is very dangerous. That's the problem. If you need to overly depend on scrambles, that already is a very, I don't want to call it a rare instance, but it's an uncommon instance in MMA, right? So it's like, there are some fights we see where zero scrambles happen, period. Again, and a lot of those happens when you fight a boxer Oh, and what is Gomez, by the way? A boxer. So now you're kind of she's putting herself in this awkward situation. I'll be honest. If I'm not, I don't want a submission. I'm standing and banging with you for at least a round because you need to spice it up. You need to throw a third dimension in your game at least for a round. Not to say that she doesn't have it, but in this fight, she doesn't have to throw it in there. Because think about it. If you're basically hoping and praying we get into a scramble, Gomez is gonna laugh and be like, "I'm chilling. Like,
Yeah,
I have this
outside and just box."
exactly." And on top of that, let's say she does for some reason, end up, trying to go for a takedown. Gomez is like, "Look, I can stop this."
Yeah, she has respectable takedown defense.
Right. So you know what I mean. So it's not like an instant where it's like a Conor McGregor. Well, and I hate to keep using his name, but when you go there for a takedown, it's like, all right, cool, boom,
Yeah.
or even Cody Garbrandt. It's not. It's when you go to take him down, and it's like, all right, cool, here we go. That type of thing. It's a situation where you gotta earn your takedown, and if you can't get it, and you're just resting on the cage, that's not looking good in the eyes of the judges. So, Na has a very, very steep uphill battle. And to be honest, I think the hill is too tall to climb for her. I'm giving it to Gomez.
Yeah, I like Gomez in this fight as well. I think Gomez is going to be able to keep the fight mostly on the feet, and I think that's bad for Na. So I'm going to go with the slight favorite in Gomez as well.
Which honestly, I'm very surprised that it's a slight favorite.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna, and I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I thought it was gonna be an even bigger. You know what I mean? Like I thought now was gonna be even a bigger underdog.
Yeah, I
fact
figured
that it's just like a very minor one.
I figured Gomez was going to be like plus 230 somewhere.
Yeah, I thought bare minimum 200. That was just when I first saw it. I was like, oh yeah, 200. And when it came out, it was last time I checked. She was like what 130 last time I checked.
She's at minus 146 right now.
So now 146. So it went up a little more. But
And
at the time when I looked at it, I think I looked at it. What was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. I looked at it. But when I looked at it, yeah, it said 130. And I was
I think last night when I was looking at it, it was like 130.
Yeah. I was like, that's so. I was like, maybe it's me, but I'm like, that's bizarre.
Well, I thought the same thing because I don't think Na's a big threat to Gomez myself, so I didn't understand why it's so close.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. That's all. I wanted to make sure that because, like I said, when I saw that it was only 130, I was like, huh? I'm like, I think there's a glitch. Maybe they meant 230. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, what in the world? But nah, they meant 130. They meant it. So I was like, you know what? That's all to you. Live your life.
And then the third fight of the prelims, you get Danab Batgirl against Hung Ko. This I think is going to be an interesting fight. Batgirl's the favorite at minus 138. Kung Ho is the underdog at plus 108. So they got this fight as being pretty close fight as well.
Excuse me. See, this one, I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't know how I feel about it.
I think it's going to be interesting because I question both their cardios.
Yes. But the thing is, like, I question their cardios, and they don't have lethal power.
No.
You know, like they're not like because
Kung Ho's
they're both.
He's a great striker, but he don't have a lot on his strike.
Right, like he can make contact and sting you a little bit, but in terms of like knocking you out type of thing, that's not him. This is a bantamweight fight, right?
I believe so. And
I'm gonna go underdog. I'm gonna go Ken.
You know what? That's who I'm going with too. I like the
Bro?
underdog in this one. I think his striking, Batgirl has the power advantage. There's no doubt.
Oh,
But
no debate.
But I think that the cardio with Batgirl scares me. Cardio scares me a little bit with Kung Ho, but I like him because he has the striking and he's a decent wrestler. He has 11 submissions to his credit. So I mean, he can get this fight to the ground, Batgirl could be in a lot of trouble.
Right.
So, yeah, I like Kung Ho in this fight. I like the underdog as well.
Yeah, I'm taking the underdog because
So
for
far,
me,
we both like the same ones.
Yep. The first two, we got the favorites. Here we got the underdog. Look, Dana is for me. My concern is I've seen Dana sometimes get overly aggressive and get away from his submission game, which is bad because he listen on the ground. This dude is legit. Problem is though, and this is why I'm kind of just looking at it wrong. Like, and like a lot of times when he loses, it's him getting in his mind that, oh yeah, I'm a brawler. Then all of a sudden he starts thinking, oh yeah, I'm a brawler.
Yeah. And
next thing
get
you
away
know,
from what he does best.
Exactly. Then you're getting, you're getting kind of clicked, right? And
Yeah.
and if you just look at it, Dana, he throws less significant strikes, and when you compare it to Kang, oh, I'm sorry, Kang throws less, so he throws less but connects more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a situation where it's like, I'm gonna take the more precision guy for now. I'm gonna take the more precision guy. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dana. I want to disagree with you. We're going Kang. Let's get it.
So we both have Kung Ho Kang winning.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think he's gonna be able to. I think Batgirl would have to knock him out. I think he's gonna be able to avoid that.
Oh, I think he will.
But this next fight's interesting. This next fight's going to be interesting as well with Andre Fajalo against Jake Matthews. Fajalo is a minus 150 favorite. Matthews is a plus 118 underdog. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Fajalo's takedown defense worries me.
Isn't this one on the main card now?
Oh, did they move it to the main card?
I don't know. Did they? I think. Hold on. Let me go to the UFC's website because
on FanDuel they still have it listed in prelims, but I'm not.
I got it. Hold on. All right. Yeah, it's on the main card now.
Okay. Well, who'd they take off the main card? Do you know?
No. What's his name? God damn it! He was supposed to fight on this card, and they had to cancel it. Fuck. Oh, excuse my language.
Oh.
Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker was supposed to fight Marvin Vettori on this card. They were supposed to fight on this card that got canceled for some reason.
So are they having six fights on the main card now?
No, it's 5.
But yeah,
so the opener is Jack Stella.
I have 5 listed without him on there.
I think from what I understand, how I'm looking at it on their website, the early prelims, there's only 2 fights. Pascal and Edwards and Na and Gomez. Then the prelims is 1, 2, 3, 4 on the prelim.
Who's the main event of the prelims? Allen and Malkoun, right?
No.
Oh.
From what I see, it's Choi and Calabayo.
Okay.
So that's the main event on the prelims, and then for the main card, it's opening with Jack Della Maddalena against Amin.
Yep.
Then it's gonna be Fajalo versus Matthews, and then Wele, Jan Jacek, Santos Shevchenko, and then Teixeira Prochazka.
Okay, they took Cape and Batarin. They moved that. They took that fight off the main card.
So then that was the second one because I remember there was 2 fights that got canceled.
Okay, so Cape and Batarin isn't happening. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember there was 2 of them that got canceled.
Now that's still 5 fights.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go ahead and talk about it since it's right here. But it's actually we'll just wait. We'll wait to the main card and talk about it. That way, all the main card fights are together.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I'm with you.
So the next fight on the prelims would be
So I'm looking at it as Brendan Allen versus Jacob Malkoun.
what was that? Is the next that's the next one on the prelims?
Yep, it'll be that one, and then Mahash State versus Steve Garcia,
And then
and then
Kalabi-
Choi versus Koboya.
Okay, yep, I got them all listed just in a different order, but it'll be all right. All right, we'll go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, they had to swap out the orders when they called up. Yeah, because the other two, one of them, oh no, they both were on the prelims.
Yeah,
One of them was on the
prelims, just in different order.
Yeah, and then I think which one was it? One of the ones on the prelim was supposed to be on the early prelim. There's supposed to be 3 fights on the early prelim,
Okay.
and
Because originally they had Allen and Malkoun as the feature fight for the prelims. And then they changed it to Claudio and Choi, which I think is the better choice anyway, in my opinion.
Right? Oh yeah, no, definitely. I 100% agree.
Yeah, but for Brendan Allen and Jacob Malkoun, Allen's a minus 330 favorite. You got Malkoun as a plus 240 underdog. This is the biggest spread difference that we've had so far on the card. But I like the favorite in this fight. I think his grappling and his takedown defense, Malkoun, I think is gonna have trouble because Malkoun's a good grappler, but I'm thinking he's having trouble taking Allen down. I don't know how great Malkoun's cardio is. I mean, but Malkoun is 6-1, so he ain't no slouch. But
Right.
Allen's 18-5, and I think he's an improved striker. Going to have the reach advantage. I think Allen's going to be a little too much for him.
Yeah, I hear you.
Are you back?
There we go. Jeez, I had a moment. But no, I'm with you. I'm with Brendan all the way. I think when you look at this fight, it's easy for people to say, oh yeah, I think Jacob Malkoun can do it and all this. You know what I mean? Because again, 6-1, he's had a little bit of hype recently. But my number one concern is the whole. I don't want to say that the grappling is a concern, but the grappling is a concern for me because he grapples and then uses that to rest. But while he's resting, he's not doing anything. And you can't do that with a guy like Brandon or
he tries
Brendan
to
Allen.
rest on top, he'll get submitted.
Exactly. And not only that, for the submission, you're looking at a guy who.
He's having a little bit of technical issue. But no, he's. I agree with what he's saying. Allen, go ahead, Roger. You're back.
What happened?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, it did it again?
Yep.
I am gonna have to write a strongly worded letter. But yeah, I'm going Brandon Allen. For me, it's just I understand why people want to hype up Malkoun. I get it, because this guy, this dude, he could fight. He could. One of the main concerns I have though, that he has on his record, it happened because he got nervous. He got nervous, got put in a little bit of pressure, and didn't know how to handle it.
Yes.
Now, Brandon Allen, how does he fight? He likes to bring pressure. So it's like the one time he lost was because of pressure, which is what Brendan Allen does best. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether or not Malkoun can handle it. Based on what I've seen, I don't think he can. And I think I'm giving it to Allen by knockout round 1.
Yeah, I agree. I can see Allen winning by knockout, but I think Allen definitely wins the fight. I honestly think that they kind of put Malkoun in a tough situation. I don't think this was the fight that was right for to be his next fight.
Who would you have given him?
I don't know who I'd have given him, but I just think this is too big of a step up in competition.
But you kind of, but here's the thing, and I'm with you in terms of the it's a massive step up. I get it, But when you have a guy who's been getting hyped up to the moon, it's like the same thing with Yuri Prohashka. He's only been here for a whopping 3 fights.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And when we've seen it with the UFC, when you get that hype, they want to capitalize on it. So the way I'm looking at it is like, I understand what you're saying in terms of the competition, but here's my thing. You're gonna have to. You can't keep throwing this guy lemons.
You're eventually gonna have to fight him.
Exactly. So you might as well do it now. So that way, he's early enough in his career, so that way he can be like, okay, this is what I did wrong. This is what I gotta fix it, and then let's try again.
Yeah.
Because think about it, I'd rather them do it when he's 6-1 rather than 16-1. Because now when you're 16-1 and you lose, it has a worse visual look to it.
Yeah,
it looks way worse. But
I could see a way where he could win this fight, but it has to be that he's made an adjustment to pressure.
Exactly,
if he's made that adjustment to be able to deal with pressure, he could have a chance to win this fight. I just don't know if he has or not. So it's hard for me to take him in the fight. That's why I like Allen as well.
Exactly, and that's really it. I hope, excuse me. I hope he proves us wrong, and I hope he comes and he makes the proper adjustments. I hope so. But just because I hope he does doesn't mean I can say he does. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So with all that, like I gotta go Allen. We're looking at a guy who's more experienced, who's had bigger fights under his belt. Granted, I'm not talking about like him on headlining or anything, but compared to Mahoney, he's had more fights, that kind of in terms of spotlight wise. So we've seen Brendan Allen under that spotlight, and he'd be okay. He'll handle the pressure, and sometimes it just doesn't work out in his favor. But I'm still looking at a guy who, without a shadow of a doubt, as of right now, is the better fighter when I'm looking at these two. I think you'll be hard pressed to find anybody with a straight face saying that Brendan Allen is not the better fighter between these two. I think you'll be very hard pressed.
They are saying that with a straight face. They don't watch many UFC fights.
They're probably people who, and this is the reality of it. They're probably people who just watch the main card.
Yeah, or people who just watch the main event.
Yeah, that's it. Like they don't really buy it. They just kind of.
Connor's fighting tonight. We're gonna get that card because of McGregor. That's the only fight.
Exactly, and even then they don't buy it. They kind of go over a friend's house who bought it, so I mean they don't have to buy it. Then they'll watch it and all that stuff.
And then you're not really paying that as much attention to it because you're talking to your friends and stuff.
Exactly. Right. So that's kind of what I just. Like I said, Brendan Allen, I think you'll be very, 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 very hard pressed to find a single soul out there who will look at you and go, "Oh yeah, he's not better than." I think you'll be very hard pressed. I really will, and I think if anybody tells you that, I think 9 times out of 10, if you understand MMA and you watch it, and and you know it, 9 times out of 10 you don't take people like that serious.
Yeah.
Because those are the same people who call Conor McGregor the greatest of all time. And I'm a McGregor fan. I love McGregor. But that's the equivalent of calling him the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So,
And then our next fight on the prelims, we have Machete against Garcia. Machete is a plus 146 underdog. Garcia, minus 188 favorite. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. But what worries me in this fight is Machete's striking defense. She takes a lot of shots. Takes a lot of shots. He'll take a lot of shots. So I like Garcia because of his power and the striking. Yeah, I do think this will be an interesting fight. But the striking defense really worries me in this fight.
I mean, look, I'm with you in terms of the striking defense, man. I'm with you. That is basically the sole reason why I'm going Garcia. These are two guys who like to stay on their feet. Garcia has more significant strikes landed per minute. He's got a higher connect percentage. He absorbs less per minute, you know. And then if you look at the takedowns, you know, granted, I'm not going to get into takedowns because, you know, as of right now, for some reason, you know, they make it seem like, you know, that the Mashe has never been on the ground before, which, you know, is not true, but whatever. But I'm looking at two guys who do like to stand and bang. You know, that's their preferred method of fighting. And I'm looking at a situation where, unfortunately, one guy is just clearly better than the other. However, with all that being said, I do think it's going to be a good fight. I do think it'll be an entertaining fight. It'll be one of the fights that, you know, they kind of swing for the fences and everyone goes, oh, type of thing. You know, I do think it'll be.
Yep. I think Garcia's power is going to be his power is going to be the difference. That's what.
Yes. Yeah, I'm there with you. I think if you this is just me. I think Garcia has the closest thing to 100% winning you can possibly have without having 100%.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and this sounds mean. I know, I get it, but Garcia has the closest thing to 100% without actually having 100%. So I'm going Garcia. I think it ends in the first round. There's going to be a scene where they're both standing and banging in the middle of the octagon. Garcia clips him. He kind of, you know, Mashe kind of gets nervous, starts kind of panicking. He wants to try to figure something out, and then, you know, it's going to be that one shot that Garcia just lands on him. That's going to be a straight bomb that just purely flatlines him. So.
Oh yeah, I agree with what he's saying. I think Garcia just has too much power.
Yep.
You know, and the Southeast striking defense just worries me so much. I mean, I could see a knockout in the first round, but I could also
I'm there with you.
I could also see these guys get in there and bang for 3 rounds. So it's no, I mean it's a hard fight to predict.
Right, and here's
Garcia just play better.
And here's the thing, because obviously it's the power, but the power isn't even my number one concern. My number one concern is just the fact that the defense is awful.
Yeah.
It's like Missy, he wants to get hit. He goes, okay, hit me. Okay. Hit me.
He fights kind of like Darren Elkins.
Yes, Darren the Damage Elkins, exactly. A guy who goes, hit me. And it's like, bro, look, I understand, you know, you're a tough dude. You're a tough hombre. Let's not get that twisted. But, brother, you do realize if you get hit, you don't absorb that damage, bro. This ain't an anime, bro. When you take that damage, bro, you're getting hurt. You are getting hurt. And that's the problem. And on top of that, his the amount of stuff that he throws in critical times too. And for me, that's also a concern I have. In critical moments when it's time to stand and bang, that's when all of a sudden he wants to work on his defense. And it's very perplexing considering a guy whose defense is horrible wants to work the defense. That to me is just perplexing. Yeah. That is that's as confusing as you can get with that's the type of confusing that like you hurt yourself during damage, bro. Like you ever play Pokemon?
No.
You never play Pokemon? Okay, so there was a Pokemon, right? Name was Zubat, and one of the moves was called Confusion Ray, and it did no damage, but it would confuse you. And the reason that's the thing is whenever you would tell your Pokemon what to do, there was a chance that it would ignore you and hurt itself in its confusion. Like literally, like counterproductive. And it would say, like, when it goes to attack, it would say, oh, so-and-so hurt itself in its confusion. Right? That's what this dude does. Like, when you're supposed to bang, he tries to defend himself, and it's like, bro, you're hurting yourself in your confusion because you're a horrible defender. If anything, when you go to try to, quote, defend, if anything, you're giving him a better opportunity because when he defends, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't
Yeah.
know how to commit. So one of his arms dropped down to protect his body, and then the other one is up protecting his face. And that's a bad thing to do because if you're doing that, you're still leaving half of your face wide open to the point where that's why you got to put both arms up and scrunch your body up. That's how you're supposed to. And bro, I can't even count to 5, bro, and I know that. And it's this weird thing where it's like he doesn't know. So it's like, and Damien, yeah, bro, I used to play Pokemon back in the olden days. I used to play Pokemon. Joker was a banger. Never beat it though.
My son used to play it, but I've never played it. But,
You say your son used to play it?
yeah,
Yeah, ask him about Confuse Ray or Confusion Ray.
I will. I'll actually, I'm gonna see him tomorrow, so I'll ask him tomorrow at the wrestling show about it.
Yeah, it literally is like it does no damage when it first gets to you, and then like all of a sudden you tell your Pokemon to attack, and then instead of attacking, you just get the prompt. Oh yeah, it hurt itself in its confusion. Bro, you don't understand. Bro, I had to restart my game so many times because of that. You really understand, bro. But yeah, now I think we both agree here. I think we have yet to disagree yet.
We haven't yet. But next we have the feature fight of the prelims. I think this fight's going to be good. This has fight of the night potential.
This is honestly the opener of the main card for the welterweights.
Yeah.
I wish they would have dropped that to the prelims and put this fight as the opener.
I agree.
Because I'm with you in terms of fight of the night potential. I'm with you, but I don't think it's gonna get the proper love and respect that it should get because of the stack card that you have. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like with it being a super stacked card. But I'm with you, man. This should be on the main card.
Yeah, you have Calabio, who's a plus 196 underdog versus Choi, minus 260 favorite. I'll let you go first this time. What are your thoughts on this fight?
So for me, I see two guys who want to bang. That's it. Two guys who are gonna go into the middle of the octagon and just swing, and they're gonna try to do whatever they can to connect. These are two guys who like to swing and they take damage too. You know, and when it comes to Choi. When he has a couple takedowns to his name, but those takedowns are kind of misleading because those are takedowns he does when he's hurt, and he just goes to the takedown just to try to get a minute to breathe.
Try to get his head back together.
Yeah, so it's not like he's just this, that he's a guy who's been struggling with grappling and, because he's a bum or whatever the case may be. Not. It's a situation where he turns to grappling as his plan B. As, oh, I'm hurt. Hold on. I got to breathe. Let me take it down. Now I have a minute to collect my thoughts and be able to regroup. So that way, when we get back up to the feet, I'm less compromised and I'm more comfortable standing and banging with you once again. So I got Choi. I think it's going to be a banger. I think there's going to be times when we're going to be like screaming, oh! Because, like I said, man, they lately how they've been talking about Choi, they're talking about this man like he's the second coming of GSP. That's how they've been talking about this kid. I know he's not. I definitely know he's not. but I know this kid is good. They've been talking about this dude like, oh my god, dude, he's like a top 1% alpha, and I'm like, settle down, okay? Settle down. You can give a guy his flowers without planting him a garden. You know what I mean? Like, let's woosah. But yeah, I'm giving it to Choi. This kid is good. He's really good. I like him a lot. I think his future is very bright. There's just a couple things. If I were him, I would tweak in his game. More specifically, the grappling, and the takedowns and stuff like that. He's good at it. He really is. But it's almost as if he kind of ignores it. And, I would be careful with that. Only because, you need to be able to utilize it. Because if you're fighting against someone who's got horrible takedown, that's when you should be grappling. But instead, what he does he'll still stand and bang with you.
Yes.
And that's my only, how do you want to call it, a knock? Because he can grapple, he just doesn't choose to use it. So I'm not gonna say a knock, but that's my concern when it comes to Choi, where he could grapple, he could do takedowns, but he just uses that as a, oh, I'm hurt, okay, let me breathe, and then he'll use it as like the last resort type of thing. So, but yeah, I got Choi. I got Choi. I think they stand and bang, and I think it goes to decision.
All right, this is gonna be the first one we disagree on.
Damn.
I like Calabio, and the main reason is his takedown defense. He has real good takedown defense, and I think he's gonna be able to stop Choi when he hurts Choi from getting that takedown and getting the rest.
Okay.
I could see either guy getting knocked out because these guys are going to stand in the middle of the octagon and bang.
Bang. Oh yeah.
So I mean, I think it's going to be an exciting fight, but I'm going with Calabio.
So you're going with him basically because you believe he'll be able to hurt Choi. And then when Choi goes, oh, I'm hurt, let me go for the takedown, Calabio's going to be like, okay, nice try, kid. All right. And then he's basically going to like piece him up afterwards.
Yes, that's what I think is going to happen.
I'm not mad at you for thinking that because, Calabio could stop. Like, his takedown defense is very, I like it. The reason why Choice is I first, that's me. I think Choi's gonna get, he's gonna strike. Okay, I'm back. You hear me?
Yep.
Jesus. Stupid. I paid the bill, and these people disrespect me.
Hey, it pisses me off, man, because you pay too much for it to be having trouble. And you froze up again.
All right.
You know what I mean? You pay too much for internet to be having trouble.
I'm saying, man, we got the highest package available, and these bozos talk about, oh yeah, buffering. Like, bitch, no, buffer these nuts.
Who do you have as the first fight on the main card? That's all the prelims.
Okay, so on the main card, this is the first. We got this is the one I'm not really excited about. Jack Della Maddalena versus Ramazan Emeev. Emeev, yeah, Emeev. I said it wrong. But I honestly, I am not excited about this fight at all.
This fight shouldn't be on the main card.
And
I'm not trying to be mean or be disrespectful.
Me neither. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
They'll be eventually ready to be on the main card, but it's too early, in my opinion.
I don't care if it's early, late. I don't care what time it is. They're just not good. Or they're not good enough
on a card like this. I understand if they were on the main card, just a regular fight night, maybe. But not
I was gonna say this right here. I'm glad you said that because I was thinking it, but I didn't want to be rude. This is a fight night card. This is a fight night fight. This is the opener of a UFC fight night. That's what this is. When you know what I mean? Like when you're just like, who wants to work today? Type of thing. That's what this is. And I'm not even trying to be mean, but there's no way again, I'm not trying to be mean. I've been working on it. I've been trying to be nice, trying to be a good noodle. But this should not be on the main card. I will say it to my dying breath. If you disagree, hey, that's fine. Hats off to you. But for me, ain't no way, no how. No way, no how. This is on the main card. And then again, we have other fights like Choi versus Calabio, who's not going to be on. We have another fight, Brandon Allen versus Jacob Malkoun. I'd rather have that opening up as the main card. I'll be honest, I'd rather have almost every single. The only one on the prelims I don't want opening would be Kang versus Dana. That's it.
Yeah.
Outside of those, the others, I have absolutely positively no problem with any of those ones replacing.
No, I would have opened it up with Choi and Calabio.
100%.
I have I got Madalena's a -166 favorite. Emeev, however you pronounce it, is +130 underdog. Like I said, I don't think either one of these are ready for the pay-per-view main card. But I like Madalena in this fight. I just think she's the better striker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be the difference in the fight is the striking.
I gotta disagree. I'm going to me.
Oh,
And I'm gonna tell you why. What you just said about striking, I'm gonna one up you and say that about ground game and submission.
well, yeah, that's true. That's
If
true.
and this is a big if, and this is where I'm kind of. I'll be honest. This is a little bit of a reach.
I'm relying on takedown defense.
Exactly. So like this is where for me it's a little bit of a reach, but if Amir can get him down 3 times, he's gonna make him tap. But again, that's kind of where that's kind of just me crossing my fingers and hoping type of situation. But I do think Amir will be able to take him down a few times, start figuring him out, making sure okay, how is he gonna play this? How's he gonna play that? And then boom, rear naked choke, armbar, whatever submission he wants to pop out of his arsenal. Darce, whatever. But for me, I'm gonna go with Meave. Again, there's a caveat, so don't take my word on it. The caveat is at least 3 takedowns. The first takedown is kind of gonna be like a scouting thing, where it's like, what do you do? What do you do?
Oh
what
yeah.
do you do?
If Amir gets
Type of
3
thing.
takedowns, Madalena's in trouble.
Right. So, and I'm not even saying takedowns for points. I'm talking about a submission.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Madalena tapping type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think the first takedown is going to be him scouring. Like, all right, I took it down.
Amir has 7 wins by submission. So I mean, he knows what he's doing down on the mat.
Exactly. Right. So that's kind of where why I'm going with the Meave.
See, I'm going with Madalena's striking and power. It has the 9 knockouts.
Yeah.
And I'm just banking on his takedown defense. If he can keep the fight on the feet, I think Madalena wins. But if Meave gets this fight to the ground, I think he wins. But
Yeah.
I'm banking on the takedown defense.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. So that's that. But again, I'm going with a Meave because I believe he gets 3 takedowns. We'll go from So
Now we got a couple that were different on now. Who do you have next on the main card? 'Cause mine goes to Shevchenko, but I know that ain't it. Or
no. So this one is Fahalo versus Matthews.
Okay.
Yep. So as of right now on ProUFC.com, Fahalo is a minus 145 favorite. Matthews is a plus 125 underdog. I don't know, man.
It's an interesting fight, and what scares me about this is Fialho fought just 3 weeks ago.
Yes, that's why I'm scared to pick him. That's why I'm so scared to pick him because he literally was
He's fought like 3 or 4 times in the last 6 or 7 this year already.
Yeah, like he's fought a lot. So that's kind of where I'm like.
That's what scares me about it.
Exactly, because obviously Fahalo looks like he's got that power, right? Like let's there's no debate about it. Like he's got 16 wins, 12 knockouts?
13.
13?
Yep.
Damn, I can't count. But yeah, 13 knockouts.
He's 4-1 over his last 5 fights.
So you hear all that stuff, and it makes me want to pick him. But then it's like, then you realize his last win was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and
that's
Matthews,
where I get scared.
And Matthews isn't a slouch. He has good striking.
No, he ain't a bum. Yes, no.
He has good grappling. But what questions me about Matthews is his cardio and his chin. We've seen him get hurt.
Frankly, we've seen him get hurt with the most generic shots, like pawing jabs to find distance. We've seen that stun Matthews.
But if he can get this fight on the ground, he has 7 submissions to his credit. So I mean, he's a threat. Even with Fialho fighting so quick, I'm going with Fialho in this fight.
Yeah,
I think his power, and I just question Matthews' chin too much. But Fialho's takedown defense is going to be, to me, is the X factor of the fight. If he can keep this fight on the feet, I think he will win. But if Fialho can't stop his takedowns, I think it's going to be a long night for Fialho as well. but I'm going with Hollow.
So I agree with you. I got Fialo, but I have a different X factor. I got Jake Matthews stand-up defense because and the reason why I say this is because obviously Fialo has the power, but if he can't connect, and it's not even Jake Matthews just like taking it on the chin, him kind of moving, weaving, bobbing, you know what I mean, something like that. My thing is, if he can frustrate Fialo, if he can frustrate him and make him get overly aggressive, and he starts charging you, that now opens up so many things, not only in terms of counterpunching, but like you said for Matthews, he wants to go to the ground. So if you can get Fialo to overcommit on some strikes, get him off balance, and then boom, take him down, you're in a very, very, very comfortable position if you're Jake Matthews. So I do get why you why you think that's the X factor, but for me, I'm gonna go his stand up only because hey, if you could frustrate a guy who just fought, if you could frustrate him, and you can get him off balance, that makes you taking him down so much easier, which now opens the door for you to get on top, work a submission, and for you to get the win. And if Jake Matthews can get this win, it's a good win to have, especially considering that, granted, 125 underdog, it's not the biggest deficit in the world, you know what I mean? But you just being an underdog and being able to overcome it using a good game plan on a UFC card, like a pay-per-view card. It's not Fight Night. This is a pay-per-view card that a lot of people are going to watch because of the three-headed monster that we have in the next fight, the co-main and the main event. If Jake Matthews is able to get this win, people are gonna look at this kid in a whole different light. So, Jake, he's got a chance. I'm not gonna say that. I think it was Garcia that I said that he's got the closest thing to 100% he can get without getting it. I'm not gonna be like that to Jake Matthews. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say he's gonna get washed by Fialo. He has a chance. You know what I mean? But I'm more comfortable taking Fialo. Because, like you said, if Fialo makes just a little bit of contact, bro, Matthews, they call him the Celtic kid. Yeah, this kid gonna go back to Celtic times, bro. Because that's how bad he gonna get sent back in time when Fialo gets his hands on him.
Yep. And then we have Joanne Jędrzejczyk against Weili Zhang. I think this is gonna be a good one. Jędrzejczyk is a plus 134 underdog. Zhang minus 172 favorite. And I think it's going to be a real good fight. I like Zango in this fight. I think Zhang's improved wrestling will help, but she's good on her feet and the striking. I think, which don't get me wrong, Jędrzejczyk is a great striker, but I think she's starting to slow down some. So I like Zhang in this fight. Joanne is 3-2 over her last 5, and at 34 years old, she's been through some wars.
Yep, and
I think it's starting to catch up for a little bit.
Yeah, and you said she's what was it, 3-2? What's her record? 3-2. Like, yes. What people really forget about Joanna Jędrzejczyk is that the last fight she had was against Zhang Weili, and she lost. And she hasn't fought since.
Yep.
She hasn't fought since. I'm going Zhang Weili only because I've seen her fight. I've seen her fight.
Yeah, and she showed improvement in her fights as well.
Yeah, and to be honest, and I will say this to my dying breath, I don't think she lost against Rose Namajunas. Now, I'm not gonna go and say that Rose Namajunas is a fake champ or whatever.
I didn't think she lost either. I thought she won too.
But I'm just saying, because what I've been noticing about a lot of people was they go, "Oh yeah, look at Zhang Weili's record," and I'm like, hold on now, you can't just spit out the record and think that that's fine, because the performances in some of those losses, the performance was phenomenal.
Yep. She
had some great performances and just lost a banger. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like
you gotta look at see who those losses are to. You can't just say, "Oh, she has 3 losses." Well, look at
exactly.
see who them
You
losses
can't
are against.
right. Exactly.
The
Like
best in the world, and you can make an argument she won. I
right.
mean,
Like and again, in that first one, that first fight she had against Rose Namajunas, I don't know whether or not she had a good game plan. I don't know because it happened so fast. Okay, Rose Namajunas kicking her head off happened so
yeah,
fast. I don't know if there was a tactic for Zhang Weili. I don't know. Everything happened so fast. The world is still spinning. But the second fight, there definitely was some sort of tactic. There
yes.
definitely was a very calculating game plan
Well, that's what I
that
mean.
that she's put out.
You see Zhang improving. You see her game getting better every time she goes out. That's what I think. That's what I think the difference in this fight is. I just think Jacek is she's just getting older and slowing down a little bit, and I think Zhang's more in her prime. So I like Zhang in this fight.
Yeah, 100%. I'll say this though. I expect if this is the beginning of the end for Joanna and Jacek. If this is, I don't know if it is or not. I don't know. You know, but if it is, I see Joanna and Jacek going out. Literally, excuse me. Literally with a bang.
Yes.
Like, excuse me.
I think it's gonna be a fun fight to watch. I know
100%.
that. I'm hoping to be home in time for that one. Then we have co-main event. I think this is going to be a lot better than what people think.
Me too.
You have a Shevchenko against Santos.
Me too. Now, I will say this. I still got Valentina Shevchenko. I will say that. But with that being said, I do not. All I'm saying, man, Talia got some power. Don't sleep on her. She's got some power. I'm just saying, be aware of that power that she's got. That's very dangerous. She throws about the same amount as Valentina Shevchenko. You can make an argument that the power is either on par or Santos has a little bit of an edge. If you want to make that argument, I'll entertain it. But this fight is not. This is not. This is just me. I don't see a straight up, domination type of thing where you're gonna be like, why is Santos even in the ring with her? I don't see that. Now, I still got Shevchenko winning, but this notion that, oh yeah, Santos, after that, we're gonna be looking at like, why were you in there, whatever. That I don't get that at all. I don't understand that, nor do I agree with it. I understand that, Valentina Shevchenko is an all-time great. Not gonna take that from her. She's an all-time great, one of the greatest, not only one of the greatest female fighters of all time, but one of the greatest fighters of all time, period. She is one of the greatest, no debate. But sometimes what we tend to do, and I've noticed, and I've caught myself doing the same thing with Amanda Nunes. We look at so high, and I think people do the same thing with John Jones. We look at these fighters as so highly that we think nobody could beat them. So we never give their opponents the proper credit they deserve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yep. I think that this is what's going on here. That we think so highly of Valentina Shevchenko, and deservedly so.
Shevchenko's a minus 720 favorite in this fight.
Right, which is the second. That is the second highest favorite I've seen this year. The first favorite was that Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena.
Look what happened.
Right, because certain people were not giving Juliana Pena the proper respect that she deserved. Amanda Nunes included. Yep. Amanda Nunes included. So yep. I think what's been going on is like, when we look at these
we build these fighters up so high, like almost like they're gods, and then
and then when we see somebody else, we go, yeah, it's impossible. You can't beat them. And it's like, oh, why can't you beat them? You don't tell me anything other than the fact that, come on, man, it's Valentina Shevchenko. Once you start saying that, you need to pull yourself back.
Yeah.
You have to. Because now all that tells me is you're no longer evaluating the fighters. You're no longer giving you're not analyzing the fight. Now you're just being a fanboy. Now you be when you go, come on, man. When you say if that's your only point, you're not coming across as kind of like a fanboy. Yep. We gotta respect Santos' power. We have to respect and not for nothing. I think Valentina Shevchenko is respecting it. Because during the press conference, they were asking her, "Hey, do you want to do?" They were asking her, "Hey, do you want to go fight Amanda Nunes?" She was shutting that. Any question like that, she was shutting it down. Like, no, that's not who I'm fighting. That's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about Santos. Like,
honestly, some people say it's a hot take, but I like Santos to win this fight.
Okay.
I'm going with the big plus 450 underdog. I just think we're not giving her the respect she deserves, and I think she's going to do good on her feet. And then she's not a bad grappler herself. I'm not saying she's at Shevchenko's level on the mat, but she's not a poor grappler. She's decent. She has 3 submissions to her credit, but she has good power on her feet.
Yes,
I think she could hurt Shevchenko.
Yeah, look, I'm not mad at you for thinking that. I will say that is a little bit of a spicy take. Not gonna lie, that is spicy. Okay. I do get the PowerPoint that you made though, her being on her feet. I understand it because, like I said, I do think this girl got power.
And we've seen Shevchenko hurt. We've seen her hurt before.
Yeah, we have. We've seen her hurt by people who don't have Santos' power. And again, I think Valentina knows that. I think she gets it. I think she understands and knows, like, I can't look past her. Not only is she dangerous, but look at the last person who looked by their opponent. And it's the same woman that before her loss, I really wanted to fight. Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
I wanted to fight. Like, she wanted to fight Amanda Nunes bad. And then all of a sudden, that loss happens. And now she's like, yeah, I'm going to sit this one out, Chief. So, again, it's a weird situation, man. Look, all I ask for people to do, just respect Santos. Talia Santos she can bang. She's a savage.
Plus 450 underdog. If you put a little on it and it hits, yeah, you could win pretty good money.
Pretty good? Pretty great. Pretty great money. Great money, bro.
I wish I had a little bit I could go sprinkle on it, but
shoot, but yeah, now I'm
like that right now.
But nah, man, look.
Especially with gas being $5.30 a gallon.
Shoot. But now, look, man, I will say this, man. When it comes to to this fight, I got Valentina, but like I said, man, we gotta respect Santos. Everyone who comes up to Valentina, we can't just always say, "Oh yeah, Valentina wins low." We can't be like how WWE is with John Cena. Like, "Oh yeah, John Cena wins low." Like, nah, man. Like sometimes, some of these girls, like some of these people can bang.
Yes.
And it's just unfortunate that they're fighting a downhill battle because a lot of people already have them losing before the fight is even announced because of how great. And this is not to take away anything from Valentina Shevchenko, but at the same time, we also need to be careful. And like I said, I caught myself doing this shit with Amanda Nunes. I caught myself doing this with her.
Hey,
where
I said I told my dad there was no way Pena was going to beat Nunes.
Yeah, and when people ask me why, I'm like, bro, it's Amanda Nunes. Like,
we were on our way home from a wrestling show trying to get home in time to watch it, and he asked me about it. I said, no, I think Nunes is going to win. And then when I got home and watched it, and the way Pena beat her was even more impressive.
Yeah, and that's the thing. she did what nobody else has ever done to Amanda Nunes during this stretch that she's been dominant. She got beat up round one, and was like, yeah, I got beat up. It is what it is. Who cares? Round two, stood in the pocket and banged with Amanda Nunes.
Yes.
Imagine being
And
that
hurt her.
brave. Yes, multiple
Usually
times.
Nunes punches somebody and they're done.
Yeah.
And Nunes landed some shots. It wasn't like Nunes didn't hit her, but Penn just
Yeah.
beat them like they were nothing. And we never seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. I made a joke during it. I was like, I'm convinced that her Gatorade bottle was spiked with something. Because round two came and Amanda is hitting her with shots that would put down 70% of that division.
It was that magic potion from the original Space Jam.
Yeah, man. Like, what the hell? Like, it was incredible. But round two, she came out, and like I said, some of these shots Amanda's hitting with puts down 70% of the division.
Yes.
And the fact that Juliana Pena ate it, kept pushing forward, and was throwing shots back at a high velocity and landing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy to watch.
It was insane, bro. It was insane.
So you have Shevchenko, I have Santos in the co-main event. Then now it's time for the main event. This is going to be an interesting fight. Because I can see both guys winning this fight. So this isn't to me not an easy pick. But you got Prochaska as the minus 215 favorite. The champ Teixeira is a plus 164 underdog. He's 42 years old, but he looked good his last fight, so it's hard to say that.
Right.
It's hard to say about his age because he did look good. We know he has good wrestling. But Prochaska, man, he's a great striker. And man, is he a great young prospect. And he has a lot of knockouts to his credit, 25 knockouts. So, I mean, he has a lot of power. I think this is going to be an interesting fight, though. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's going to be very intriguing. I think this is definitely one of the fights that, you're going to have to pay attention to. I think, and I get what you're saying with Glover Teixeira coming out, dominating Jan Blachowicz, in a, to the point that, Jan Blachowicz basically just gave up before he even tapped. Because I don't know what guy is going to have a guy like Glover Teixeira, who loves submissions, be on his back and then flatten out. I don't know another guy.
I'll be honest, I had Jan winning that fight.
I can't remember if I did. I might have. I did because I wanted Jan Blachowicz to be the champ after his contract ran out, so we could see all hell. Yeah. I wanted to see all hell. I wanted to see, like what we're saying with Francis Ngannou. I wanted to see that with Jan Blachowicz too. Swear to God, I wanted to see both of them. I said I wanted to see all of it. But yeah, no, man. Look, I'm gonna go Yuri Prochazka.
I'm going Prochaska as well, but
it's hard to say.
I can sit here and say that Teixeira will win this fight, and I feel comfortable saying that. So
that's the thing.
It's hard.
It's hard, and not only that, right?
But he's 42. How long can your body take it? I mean,
that's the thing.
And Prochaska has power. I mean, he has good power, and it's not just like he has a little bit. He has good power, so it's going to be interesting. But I'm gonna go with the 29-year-old Prochaska. I think. But one thing he's going to need to do. He needs to keep this fight standing. He don't want to get down where Teixeira can take him down and control him. He'll be in trouble.
No, I'm with you. He cannot, under any circumstances, try to, There's no way he can try to take it to the ground, because if you go to the ground, guess what you're doing? Not only you're in Glover Teixeira, there's that guy's name, but not only are you in Glover Teixeira's, in his wheelhouse, but now you're giving the older fighter the opportunity to rest. And when you do that,
Yeah.
Oof, you know what I mean, man?
Yep.
So,
100% agree.
so it's like I said, it's gonna be tricky. I will say this. I think it's gonna be very tricky. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna go Prohashka, but again, I am concerned because the last time we said, "Oh yeah, man," you know, I'm not gonna bring up Amanda Nunes anymore. I promise. But the last time we said there's gonna be, oh yeah, bro, the champ has no chance to retain. There's nothing he can do. It was Ngannou versus Gon. That was the last
Yep.
time, and what happened?
I know exactly.
You know what I mean? Ngannou ended up winning by unanimous decision, which was the last way I thought that fight would have ended. So, you do all that, man. It's insane. This fight is gonna be a banger. I'm gonna go Prohashka. Um, Look, this guy is getting knockouts from weird angles, bro. You saw that spinning back elbow he hit on Dominic Reyes?
Yes.
Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
I just think Prochazka is going to be a little bit too much for Teixeira at this stage of his career. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm leaning toward Prochazka in this fight.
Yeah, I'm with Prohashka. Jeez, man, that's bad. But I'm gonna go Prohashka. I do like him. And regardless of what happens, I do think the next loss Gloria Teixeira has, he should retire. He should just ride off in the sunset. Enjoy your final. Your last. Your enjoy this last run that you're on. Enjoy the title. And your next L, just say, you know what, I'm gone. Because I know he has a training facility in Connecticut. So maybe he spends. I think it's in Danbury. Spend the rest of his days there. Training and bringing up the new generation, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because like you said, bro, 42. If I'm mistaken, he's the second oldest. He's the second oldest.
Yeah, because like Chris Lytle lives here in Indiana, and he has a fight promotion here and stuff, so he could do something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or like you're promoting. Yeah, exactly. But I think he's the second oldest person to win a championship in the UFC. Right behind, I think it was Couture, who was at 45. I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
Like I know it was Randy Couture.
It was amazing how long Couture was still so good.
It was insane, bro. He came back and I think it was Tim Sylvia or Tim Silva. And jeez, but nah, man. Yeah, regardless of if it's this fight, next fight, or the fight after, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, as soon as Glover Teixeira drops the title, just shrug your shoulders and go, you know what? It's been real.
It's time to retire, brother.
Yeah, it's time to move on. Because like you said, man, 42, man. Dude, man, bro, 42. And this fight, even if he beats Yuri Prochazka, it's going to take a lot out of him. It is going to take a lot out of him. So, I definitely, you don't want to, you don't want to beat him or beat Yuri if he does, and be spent only to go into whoever's your next challenger. It doesn't matter, whoever's your next challenger. And then you go to him, and then next thing you know, you're beat up, you're banged up, you lose, and then you're like, oh man, I gotta keep going. And then next thing you know, you're like Dan Henderson, who's on, who goes, or BJ Penn, who goes on a umpteenth fight skid because you're so desperate to try to have that one final run. So,
yeah, man, get to the point where people don't want to watch you because they want to remember you as the fighter you were.
100%. Like me, I will say this: I am so glad Michael Bisping retired when he did.
Yeah,
I am so glad because in my eyes, I'm like, you know what? He retired. He wrote off his sunset. I'm glad that I'm able to look at him and not say, man, he ended his career like a bum.
Even like GSP.
Yeah.
I want
Exactly.
to remember the GSP that was dominant. I don't want to see him out there half of himself.
Right, exactly. Same thing, man. Same thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see guys like, like, and even to an extent, Chael Sonnen to an extent, right? Like,
Yeah.
because granted, that's kind of like a slippery one because a little bit, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad. Like when he had to retire, he accepted it. He understood, like, he had his. I remember when he retired. By far, one of my favorite retirement announcements ever. Because for the first time in a while, we see Chael Sonnen like talking with Ariel Helwani with his 2 kids and talking about the promise he made, to his father. Like, I promise you, I'm gonna win a title. And he's talking about that, and he's choking up and all that stuff. I don't want you to be like Chuck Liddell. We gotta get forced into retirement the whole time. You're like, oh, I want to keep fighting. I want to keep fighting. Then you go and you get, you ruin your you ruin your career basically by losing to Tito Ortiz in a fight that should have never been sanctioned. How it got sanctioned, I don't know how. But let me stop because I'm about to start crying thinking about Chael Sonnen retiring. I'm about to cry.
Man, it's crazy, because he fought too many fights. He really did, and I love Chael Sonnen because I like the way he got in there. I like the way he ran his mouth, talked some shit.
Yes, I one of my favorite lines. He goes, I will not apologize. Listen, guys, if you're not willing to go too far, you will never go far enough. And I was like, when I heard that, I was like,
okay.
I was like, all right, okay. Like after that, I justify, and this is a bad take from me, and I've learned from it, and I'm okay, so I've learned from it, and I understand it was a bad take on his part, but I was screaming, yeah, fuck Brazil, right? I was with him, right? Especially within the Ultimate Fighter and freaking him and Vanderlei fought one now, and then they fought, and then freaking Vanderlei's bitch ass assistant freaking hit Chael. I was Team Sonnen, bro. I was like, fuck. I was like, yeah, Sonnen. He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, Sonnen. They play with dirt. I'm with you, Sonnen. Like, it was. I mean, granted, I then grew up, right? So I understand, and now that it was horrible, right? But man,
one of my favorite wrestlers on the independent scene, his motto is, "If you're not cheating, you're not competing."
I love it. I should have loved it, man. I
need one of them shirts because he has one. He had shirts made on the front. It says his name, and on the back it has that quote on it. So I need one of them shirts.
I like that. No, but honestly, man, like for me, bro, like, because a lot of people go and say, "Oh yeah, Conor McGregor was like, one of the first talkers." Like to make it pop. And I'm like, bro,
no.
If you think it was Conor, bro, I'm like, either you don't know or you have been watching long enough. Because Chael Sonnen is the only guy I know who could lose to Anderson Silva at middleweight. Yeah, and then I think it was like 7 years after he had a lightweight fight with just talking, was able to get Dana to give him a lightweight title shot. After a loss against the middleweight champion, and by the way, like, not a single soul questioned it. Not a single soul was like, "What are you doing? Why?"
He was the first.
Not a single soul questioned it.
He was the first one. He was the first one to start doing the pro wrestling promos.
Yes, yo. My favorite one is when he was in Bellator and he fought Tito Ortiz. He goes, "Tito, let the people know what I do so much." He's like, "Oh, He's good at using his mouth. His mouth has got him at every fight he's ever had, whatever." And then and then Tito swears he had a banger promo, and all of a sudden Chael goes, "The only person I know who made money using their mouth was his ex-wife, because he went out with the porn star Jen Jameson." And he was like, just to clarify, there was no. He was like, it was never a marriage. He was like, "You fucking bitch." And then Chael was like, nasty line by me, and I was just like, Chael Sonnen, you are my idol. I want to be you when I grow up.
All right, that's all the UFC fights. But before we get out of here, I'll give you guys my best pick of the day for baseball. I'm not going to break down all the games because we've already went an hour and a half with this great. We had a great UFC conversation. So,
Jeez, I talk too much.
oh no, hey, I loved it. I thought it was great. But in baseball, my favorite games today, I like the Rays and Twins. Under nine runs. I like the Padres over the Rockies money line, and then I like the Braves money line over the Pirates, and the Yankees money line over the Cubs, and the Blue Jays money line over the Tigers. That'd be my best bets of the day for baseball.
Let me ask you something before we hop off. Of all of those, which one you think is the best bet? Like, let's say of all those, someone can only pick one. Which one do you think is the best out of all
those? Honestly, the one I like the best is the Rays and Twins under 9 because of the pitchers they have on the mound tonight.
Mm-hmm. Because I was about to say the Rays Twins under 9 or the Yankees over Cubs.
Yeah, Yankees over Cubs as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if for me, it would be one of those two. Fuck the Yankees, by the way, but it would be one of those two.
Like I said, my best picks have been doing good. We were 6-2 overall yesterday, 4-0 on the best picks. The best picks are 10-2 so far this week, going into the day. So we've been pretty hot on baseball this week. So hey, hopefully some people can win some money.
If not, I
don't have the money to be betting right now, so I like doing the picks, and hey, I've been pretty hot this week. So
no, if I don't win money, I'm talking to your manager.
Oh, but no, Pride, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Bro, appreciate you having me. I love being able to talk about anything, honestly. You know.
I love UFC, and it don't seem like a lot of people watch it a lot anymore. I don't know what it's like. It seems like it's died down. So
yeah, they're all like John McCain back when he was a senator, and it's human cockfighting. Was he the one who called it human cockfighting? I think it was him. So. Back when he was the senator of Arizona.
Yeah, I think
he called it human cockfighting.
I've been watching this since the very first one when basically no rules. You just fought to somebody got knocked out or quit.
Oh my god, bro!
No weight classes. It was crazy.
No, none at all. And then but people forget back then, the refs couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
So if the refs wanted to stop it, he would have to go to the corner and literally beg them stop the fight. Stop the fight.
The corner would have to stop the fight.
Right. Thank God they changed that because
they would have never grew like they did if they didn't. The states states would sanction it.
No, 100%. No, 100%. It would not a single soul would have sanctioned it.
That's why Gracie sold it, because he said he wasn't going to turn it into why he didn't want it to be. So he wouldn't. So that's why he sold it, because he didn't want to go by them rules. He wanted to keep it how it was.
He's a brave man. Brave man indeed.
He was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, Pride, you got. Oh,
I'm still here.
No, I was going to say something. Damien says, speaking of wrestling and MMA, what's your thoughts on WWE signing Bellator fighters? It just depends on who they're signing and what they can do.
Yeah, for me, I don't mind them doing it as long as they're putting them through the system, through the development system, and making sure they're good.
Yep.
Don't get a guy just because he was a champion. Like, for instance, if you go and sign a guy like, I don't know, Michael Venom Page, right? Let's say it's him. Gegard Mousasi, right? If you're going to sign one of those guys, just make sure you put them through the system. Make sure they're good. Don't just roll them out. Don't do the mistake you did with Ronda Rousey. Don't be like, oh, yeah, MMA. Great transition, because it's not a smooth transition.
No.
It's not. People always say, "Oh, look how good Brock was," and I tell people all the time, this is revisionist history, bro. This is the Mandela effect. Brock Lesnar was an NCAA wrestler. He did all his football, did whatever he wanted to do. Wrestler. Went through FCW, which was their developmental system.
Yep.
Then he wrestled. Then he went to the UFC. People pretend like he was at the UFC first, and then he came to WWE.
Nope.
He was in the WWE first already, and he went through Florida Championship Wrestling, which was their developmental system at the time. So that's why Brock is good. As long as you don't pull a Ronda Rousey, you don't just roll them out and go, all right, figure it out.
Brock was a WWE champion before he ever went to the UFC.
Yes, yes. People really forget that. People really forget, So as long as they don't take the Ronda Rousey route, I have no problem. Do what you're doing with Gable Stevenson. Make sure he's good, comfortable, and he's actually ready to be rolled out there.
He's talking about going back and wrestling another year of college.
Yeah, I heard that too. I bet Vince is tight. Fuck this kid.
Oh no, maybe they're doing that, and he's still working on his development. Maybe he's
probably because it's probably gonna be like another 2 years anyway. So.
But all right, Pride, you got any final thoughts?
Appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, tell people
Celtics,
where they can find your show at.
Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Prideful Takes Podcast. If y'all want to see an ugly motherfucker babble about sports, that's where you want to be. I'm going live today, Facebook and YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you disagree with me, tell me how much of a piece of shit I am, and I'll yell right back at you. Then afterwards, as soon as I'm done, I'll be on Spotify. So come call me a cancer. Say I'm worse than Vladimir Putin, and I'll tell you I'll poop on your chest.
All right, man. I appreciate you joining us. You can find our stuff at Gonzo Sports Room, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. We'll be doing a live pro wrestling show tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you like old school wrestling, check it out. They put on a pretty good show there in Kokomo. So we'll be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. And you can also find Easy Money, a sports betting show on the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network. Gotta make sure we give ASAP a shout out as well.
Yeah, because if not, Freddie will pop up and be like, "Yo, Chris." Much love, Fredward. Much love.
But thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend. Stay safe.
Yes, sir.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.